Good morning, everybody. It is 8:30. It is Friday morning. It is June 2nd. I can't believe it's June 2nd, but it is. It's June 2nd, and I am excited. It is Coffee Talk with Kima time. I raise my cup to you, and let's do a little advertising there. How about that? How about that, right? Little Kima, little Coffee Talk with Kima with a cup of Donkey, and man, I'll tell you what, I'm pretty pumped about today. I can't wait to tell you why. But I want to start with this. Um, so most of you know, believe it or not, even with this great accent, that I'm a transplanted Yankee. I'm one of those guys. I'm one of those damn Yankees. And for those of you up north in New England and other parts of the country, if you don't know what a damn Yankee is, I learned early on when I first got to North Carolina back in 1991. A damn Yankee is a Yankee that comes down and stays. If you're a Yankee, you just come down, visit, and go back home again. But if you're a damn Yankee, you're somebody who comes down, visits, stays, and never leaves. And that's me. So anyhow, I am proud to be a damn Yankee. I love being here in North Carolina. I am also very proud to be from Massachusetts and having grown up there. But it gets me to thinking. Like I tell Jennifer all the time, Jen, you've never lived in the South. Jen's lived in Atlanta and she's lived in Raleigh. And if you know anything about Atlanta and Raleigh, they're very similar in many ways. Most of the people in those places aren't from those places, right? So I lived in Cullowhee. I lived up in Jackson County here in North Carolina, and most of the people there are from there. Most of the people there have never left there, right? For those of you that are Cullowhee people, you'll know about Lee Burndills, who used to always tell us when he's cutting our hair, I've never been over that hill over there. Anyhow, so are you so there's things about New England that I desperately miss, and there's things that I don't, right? No different than if I ever leave North Carolina one day, there'll be many things I miss, and there'll be things that I won't. But are you from another part of the country that now live someplace else? It doesn't have to be here in Raleigh. Certainly, many of you are from that are watching or here in Raleigh. But are you from one part of the country and have moved someplace else? And if so, how much do you hold on to your original identity, your original traditions, all that kind of stuff, right? New England's different than North Carolina. It just is, right? And I'm not talking about just eating lobster and those kinds of things. I'm talking about like literally like what is it that is I don't know, just different. Anyhow, is there anything that you've held on to like that? Like for me, for example, obviously fall. I love fall. Right. I mean, to me, New England fall is really the best place to be, the best time of the year. And I love fall in North Carolina too. It's not like fall in New England, but I do like it. But so are there things from back home, your sports teams, for example? Like all you gotta do is go to a Canes game when the Sabres are in town and it's full of Buffalo fans. Are there things, are there like the Canes and the Islanders? Anytime one of those Northeastern teams comes down here to play, you see it fill up pretty good with fans of the opposing teams. Mo, I love it. Yeah, little donkey to you right here. First sip of the day in honor of my friend Miranda. And yes, I saved my first sip of my coffee for coffee talk. But what other things do you miss from home? And do you consider yourself now, like I've been here since 91. I've been here much longer than I was ever in New England. Do I consider myself a North Carolinian? Yeah, I do. But do I consider myself a New Englander? Yeah, I do. It's kind of the best of both worlds. And it's funny about home is that you romanticize the great things, right? You romanticize all the things that you loved about where you came from. And I do that for sure. And there's certainly things I don't miss. But I'll give you an example. I had a client one time who lived in a townhome down here in Briar Creek. And they're from Massachusetts. And they had a young family. And they'd had enough. They wanted to go back home. I think they were just looking to nest a little bit. They moved back to New England in less than a year. They came back. We were unable to sell the townhome. It kind of worked out for them because they came back and moved back into their townhome again. Anyhow, if there's anything you miss, I would love to know what that is, which, again, brings me to fall, right? And so I want to ask you, I'm going to put a poll up here today. I would love for you to share with me what your favorite season is, right? So, and the reason I ask is we just started summer, right? The unofficial kickoff of summer is always Memorial Day weekend. Right? Memorial Day weekend is coming up. By the way, the ribs were great. But with that being the official kickoff of summer, it makes me feel good because we're one day closer to the best season there is. So I'll put up a poll today. If you get a chance, go ahead and give us a vote on what your favorite season is. We've put up a poll giving you several options, and Would love to know what your thoughts are there. One of the things I do miss, though, one of the things I miss most about New England, right? Going back to this conversation. Oh, Donna, you're killing me. Always summer. Um, One of the things I miss about New England is the good soils. And no knock on North Carolina. You grow some pretty good things here. You don't grow like we grow back home. And I saw my friend up in Michigan has similar nice dark soil, no clay. It's great. Now this growing season is short, and yes, winters are hard. But man, we have got some really good soil back home. Our gardens back home trump any of the gardens that I've seen in people's houses here, and they're wonderful gardens here, and the produce is great. But it's not like back home. For those of you from up north, you know what I'm talking about. That nice dark, just it's just rich, full of earthworms and night crawlers. Just it's phenomenal. So I miss having my dad was and still is has the best garden. He eats no vegetables, by the way, but he grows them all and he just gives them away all summer long. But I miss that. Like we tried to grow some stuff here when we first came down, and it's the soils. You actually have to bring in soil. It's just a little harder. That's all. And the sun gets so hot. There's some challenges there. Now, the flip side of that is in February, I'm not looking at 3 feet of crusty white snow that's ice capped or anything like that. So there is a bit of a trade off there for sure. No doubt about it. So I've got some great friends of mine that are in Italy right now. I actually have two sets of friends that are in Italy right now. And Jennifer and I can't stop watching this guy named, and you may know him. You know me, I know nothing about pop culture. There's a guy named Stanley Tucci. Are you familiar with Stanley? Apparently he's an actor. I thought he was a chef. So there's some show that we're watching where Stanley, who is Italian on both sides, he likes to tell you that, he's gone back to Italy and he goes to each, and do they call them provinces or states? I don't know what they call them, but the different regions of Italy. There's like 20 of them. And he goes to each one and explores their food and their culture and what have you. It's a really cool show. It definitely, I'll tell you what, if you're planning a trip to Italy, this is the show to watch before you go, because it will clarify for you exactly what parts you want to go to. And there's plenty I don't want to see, but boy, there's plenty I do. That being said, I've got friends of mine in Italy. So Jen in the past has been like, we should go to Italy sometime. And I'm thinking to myself, there's so much of our country that I still want to see. And I've seen a lot of our country, but there's so much I still want to see. So two things. Number one, tell me if the coastline in San Francisco isn't just like Italy, right? We have Italian restaurants. Can we not just go to San Francisco, save $15,000, maybe catch an A's game across the bay? Oh, I don't know if that's worth it. But can we not just go to San Francisco? They've got cliffs and ocean, and I don't know. Seems to me like we could just save a lot of money, go there, and call that Italy. And if you listen, if you get good pizza, what the hell's the difference? But it gets me to thinking, like, where in this country do I need to go? Where do I need to take my family? So we get, I love Maine. I love going home to Maine. I'm from Mastersville. I love going to Maine. I love the mountains of North Carolina. We're going to be up there in September for, 8, 9, 10 days. But what I want to know is what part of this country or what resort or where in the United States do I need to go book a vacation for me, my wife, my family? Where have you been that you know we will enjoy? I would love, love, love to know that. Anyhow, moving on from that, I told you that I was really excited to share with you why I'm so excited today. I mentioned that that today's going to be one of those really, really cool days. Well, the whole weekend's going to be cool. Those of you that know us know that Camden plays a lot of baseball. Those of you that know us well know that he broke his back twice last year and missed back-to-back seasons. See what I did there? Back-to-back, 2 broken backs. I guess I never thought about that before. Anyhow, so Camden, he's back. He played some high school ball. He plays at a pretty low-level high school in terms of the level of competition they play. And that's not a knock on it's just not the same level as some of the other high schools. But where he's playing summer ball, it'll be very competitive. It'll be the first time he's been challenged in over a year. And we're playing this weekend in Charlotte. And if you know me, my happy place is on one side of the fence watching my kids do whatever it is they do. I don't care if they're actors in plays. I don't care if they're leading the student council. I don't care if they're throwing pitches. I don't care what it is. My favorite place to be is supporting my kids. And this weekend is going to be a heartwarming weekend for me. I know Camden's really excited. He's been putting in a ton of work, a whole new team, whole new teammates, a different level of competition for him. And I just could not be more proud of my son. And I just wanted to have you raise your cup of coffee in honor of Camden today. So again, super, super excited about that. And then the last thing I'm going to share with you today before I talk a little bit about real estate is this, and this is really important. I'm going to share a story with you, and this is my good news story, and this is really good. And it's local. Mark Costanza, who happens to be my general contractor, handyman, and one of my closest friends in life. Mark is an Italian. Yes, his last name's Costanza. Very much Italian. He talks like this, always sounds like he's yelling, but you won't meet a guy with a bigger heart. He and his company were building out a neighborhood called Trinity Park, and we represented Trinity Park, and we had some break-in issues. But we knew it wasn't anything substantial, but we just couldn't figure out what was going on. Then one day we figured it out. There's a couple of neighborhood kids that were 10 to 12 years old. They were breaking in. When I say breaking in, they're opening a back window that was never locked, that kind of thing. They'd come into a stage model, muddy shoes. They would mess around. I mean, they were just being kids, right? And, it caused some problems for us in the neighborhood. We called the police. Police went and visited with them. That didn't stop it. So we went and called the police again, and this time we threatened to press charges. And Mark went over there, and I take no credit for this, by the way. This is all Mark and one other person. So Mark goes over to their house, meets with their grandmother, and he says, listen, fellas, I'm going to press charges if things don't change right now. But here's what I am willing to do for you. If you can get yourself straightened out and you're willing to work on your grades instead of messing around like this, and I want to see a report card now and a report card later. If your grades go up and you want to play sports, I'll pay for your sports this year. That was his response to kids breaking into houses of his and him having to spend money and time and effort not making sales, right? Well, let me fast forward that was this summer, or that was last fall. Fast forward to today, stayed in touch with the grandmother. Mark went and visited with her. She showed him the report cards. Both kids' grades have skyrocketed. Both are doing great things at school. Both want to play ball. Mark paid $580 for these kids to go to YMCA summer camp on scholarship and play some rec ball here in town. On the way out the door, and that could be the great story by itself, right? On the way out the door, Mark noticed that their basketball goal was decrepit and falling apart, and he called me and he said, hey, do you know anybody that has a basketball goal, portable one, that I can come pick up and donate to these kids? And I thought, well, let me put it out. So I put it out within our Real Broker community here. I could have put it out to everybody, but decided to start there. I went to the Real Broker community. We have our own little Facebook group page, and I put it there. And I want to give credit to Carrie Schlegel. Carrie Schlegel immediately said, give me a minute, I got you. Yesterday she called me and she said, I'm going to donate ours. Ours is in great shape. I'm going to go ahead and donate that one. And she did. And so Saturday, these kids don't know this, but my son and Mark are going to go pick it up, bring it to their house, put it in their yard. And these kids now not only will have summer camp, opportunities to play ball, have somebody that cares about their grades that could have been pressing charges on them, but now they're going to have a basketball goal to occupy their time and do something positive. Is that not the coolest story? Is that not the good news, right? These are kids that could have went a whole different direction. Could have pressed charges, been done with it, could have been annoyed with them. But Mark Costanza and Carrie Schlegel cared enough to make a difference in their lives. So if you don't do anything else today, raise your cup of coffee with me right now for Mark and Carrie and for these two kids, because the kids had to put in the work. Mark and Carrie had to provide the opportunity, and that's what community is all about, right? Miranda, I agree. I love him too, and I'm I love him and hate him. Mark is a force to be reckoned with. I love the guy. But man, I'm so happy and so proud to be associated with people like that. And I know I could have reached out to any of you, and if you had the opportunity and the means, you would have done the same thing. And that's what community is about, right? So look for those opportunities. Those don't write people off. Real estate update real quick for you. Get this. You want to hear some really crazy numbers? Active. 7,916 homes active on this day. In 2019, right? The last time that they tell us, don't look at the numbers of 20, 21, and 22, because those numbers are crazy. They were impacted by pandemic, blah, 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 whatever. 2019 is the last time we had a normalized market. We had 7,916 homes on the market today. You know how many we have today? 4,900. We're down 37%, which sounds like a lot, right? So 7,900 down to 4,900 homes, right? To keep it easy. At that time, the previous 12 months, we'd sold just over 40,000 homes. Guess what? Previous 12 months, we've sold over 40,000 homes. At that time, here are the words we were all using. The market is white hot. Get into the market. The market is great. It's a great time to buy. The market is hot. The market is hot as hot. There's not a lot of homes to choose from. We've sold 40,000 homes in the last year. Today, we've sold 40,000 homes in the last year, and we have less to choose from. If you're looking to get into the market now, it's a good time. Let's micro that macro for a second, right? Let's look at Wake Forest specifically. Well, let's look at Raleigh, right? So we're down 37% in terms of active homes to buy right now from 2019 to today. In Raleigh, it's worse. We're down 47%. We have half the homes to buy today that we had then. We have more people living here than we did then. And we're selling as many homes now as we were selling then. Right? White hot market 2019, white hot market today, less to choose from. Sellers, if you're looking to sell, contact us. Let us walk you through and navigate these waters. One more macro, right? Or micro rather. Wake Forest, right here in my hometown. Wake Forest had 482 homes for sale on this day in 2019. Today we have 234 homes for sale. That's it, 234, 50 plus thousand people in town. 234 homes for sale. We are down 51%. We're more than half of the inventory is gone that we had then. And inventory, when I say inventory, for those who don't know what I mean, it's about homes for sale. So think about that for a second. Last thing I'm going to leave you with. 2.3 months worth of inventory in our market on this day in 2019, 1.4 months of inventory today. Inventory, again, is the amount of homes for sale. If we didn't do anything else, didn't add another home to the market, in 1.4 months, we would have no homes to sell. If you're thinking about getting into this market, buying or selling, hire somebody that understands the market and doesn't just care about pretty houses, right? Last thing I'll leave you with is we are looking to expand the team. If you're looking to do something, if you're looking for just other opportunities, and we're looking to do things a little bit differently this time. So if that piques your interest, you want to know what Real's all about, you want to know what the Common Real Estate Group's all about, give me a call, DM me, let's hook up. For all of you that are here today, for those of you that voted on our poll so far, thank you. Keep the votes coming. I'm curious to see where this thing ends up. Anyhow, I love you all. If you don't know this already, you matter. You matter to me, and I'll see you in a week.